Alright people, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of F1 2021, my team here on the channel. Today is the Mexican Grand Prix round 17 in season 2 of the series. We're coming to the end of season 2 now. If you have missed any of the last few episodes, make sure you go and check them out. They're coming thick and fast on the channel. I don't even know if that's the saying, thick and fast. I think it is. We do a new video every Monday and every Friday, so make sure you go back and check out any that you've missed. Last year in Mexico, we did get P2. We qualified like P10 on the grid, but with grid penalties from everyone above us, we started P2 on the grid and we actually finished the race in P2 last year. We're currently third in the Constructors' Championship, tied in the vehicle comparison chart, tied with McLaren and Ferrari just behind McLaren as well. So this battle for third place in the actual Constructors' Championship is really heating up towards the end of the season, boys, and let me tell you, it is going to come right down to the wire, right down to the last race in Abu Dhabi to see who gets that third, fourth and fifth place in the Constructors. Hopefully we can go ahead and set another P2 race here. That'll give us some good points, but who knows how we're going to get on. This is qualifying, and like last year, I'm just hoping to qualify as high as possible. Even if I don't make it through into Q3, just try and get as high as possible and hope people take grid penalties again, because not many people I've seen take grid penalties. Bottas, Hamilton, Perez and Verstappen in the other Red Bull. I haven't really seen these guys take many grid penalties so far this year, so hopefully, like last year, everyone's going to take penalties, boys, and then we're going to move up the grid and be quite near the front. But we'll have to wait and see as we come through the first little chicanes there. We are 700ths up, braking at the 100-meter board down to third gear, getting the car rotated through this section. This is the hardest section for me, I find, in Mexico. That little corner there. Double apex, we missed both apex there, lose a bit of time. Could have gained a bit more time there, but we get a good exit, good launch coming into this next section, this like weavy S's section, which I'm notoriously bad at doing, like S's. If you have watched the Japanese episode, the Japanese Grand Prix episode, then you'll know I am notoriously bad at doing like S sections on tracks. But we're currently 3/10 up as we head towards this little hairpin section into sector 3. A little lock up coming into that there. Car's a bit unstable. This is such a bad lap. I'm watching it back now thinking this is so sloppy. But heading towards the line, we take the shortest run to the line, and it is 4/10 up. It's going to be P12, and it's going to be our best lap of this Q1 session. Let's see where that puts us. Nico Rosberg in P10, and we go out in P19. We always set a decent enough laps to get into the top 16 and then advance time and we're out. But let's see where we start on the grid.
Here we go then, it's time to race in Mexico City, a place which gave Honda their first ever victory back in 1965. American Richie Ginther won from third on the grid. And what are the Honda-powered cars this year? Well, Red Bull have been going strong here in recent seasons, so can they keep that record going today? We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6-mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Rosberg, Sainz, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Ocon, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Tsunoda, Stroll, Leclerc, the owner driver and Mick Schumacher, Tigtum, Mazepin, Vettel and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So, boys, we do move up a little bit after grid penalties, but it's only 2 places on the grid. Let's see how we get on in the race. We've put our fuel down as low as we want it. The strategy is soft, medium, soft. Of course, a 2-stop strategy around Mexico with the tyre wear being quite high because the track is so far above sea level. It is lights out though, and away we go at the Mexican Grand Prix. The next Grand Prix coming up in real life, actually. I think it's the same weekend as you'll be watching this video, but as we head down into turn 1, Giovinazzi and Tsunoda covering the inside line. We always go for a dive bomb into the first opportunity that we get one, and we're going to go for it. Can we pass Tsunoda into turn 1? We're going to have to take evasive action over the grass, and we go around the outside of Pierre Gasly. Almost make contact with Gasly there over the curb. A little bit wobbly on the exit, but we are now wheel to wheel with Pierre Gasly heading down this little bit of a straight here. Can we make the move on Pierre Gasly? And already we're up into P12, boys. We go on the inside of Pierre. We're wheel to wheel still. Pierre Gasly on the slower medium tyres. Can we make the move stick around the outside on the soft tyres? We're still there with Pierre around the outside again, and we are going to make it stick. We are up into P11, up from P17 on the grid. What a start that was. What a move down into turn 1 to absolutely dive bomb, full send it out of nowhere from way downtown, and we are up into almost into the points already. We're chasing down Carlos Sainz now in the Ferrari, who, like I say, Ferrari are really competing as well for the P3 in the Constructors' Championship. As we fly off the track on the camera there, just completely go out of frame of the camera, but we are now charging our battery a little bit by the looks of it. We're using a lot of battery on this first lap to try and close that gap to Carlos. As you can see, it is quite a big gap to Carlos Sainz, but as long as we can stay within 1 second of Carlos, then once we get to lap 2, we can obviously use DRS. This is a replay of the start. This is how we made the overtake on Pierre Gasly, wheel to wheel there. We are having to take a lot of evasive action to not make contact with Pierre, but of course we started on the soft tyres. A few people around us started on the hards and the medium tyres, so we just got a great launch off the grid, and then a great, start to the race. But lap 3, speaking of the start of the race, there is a yellow flag on lap 3, and on board with Nico Rosberg, he's got Lewis Hamilton in front of him. So Nico's made up a few places with Lewis in front of him as they come around the double apex now. Nico is going to get a face full of smoke, and Lewis Hamilton is going to be out of the race on lap 3 of the Mexican Grand Prix, boys, and he's almost crashed into us there, sitting on the racing line as he's trying to get off the track. We have a little moment there, but Lewis Hamilton is out of the session in just the 3rd lap of the race. Absolutely huge for us, because now we are up into P10. We are into the points. Lap 3 of 36. Carlos Sainz is 1 minute ahead. 1 minute ahead of us. Imagine 2 seconds ahead of us, and we go very slow through the final sector there, and we actually lose 6 tenths or 5 tenths to Carlos through that final sector. The front left tyre already getting battered completely. So yeah, Pierre Gasly is going to have DRS on us coming down this main straight. Leclerc is going to have DRS on Gasly. We're going to tuck him behind Pierre, who is, of course, on an alternate strategy with Pierre running the medium tyres. But it is so OP, the DRS around Mexico, because that straight is so long. And then you get it again for this section here, which seems quite unfair. You know, he's passed me on the straight. Why does he get DRS on the next straight as well? But coming towards the end of lap 4, we've managed to stick with Pierre being on those faster soft tyres at the start of the race, you know, on this earlier stint. But obviously Leclerc has come to join the party now. We unfortunately couldn't stick with Carlos, like I say, but the other Ferrari wants to play with us now. We have got DRS on Pierre Gasly. We're going to make a move heading into turn 1. Very easy. Like I say, it's so OP, the DRS here in Mexico, because the straight is so long. You reach such a high top speed with DRS and DRS open, and just max revs for like a good fucking, I don't even know, like 100 miles. That's how long the straight feels. But coming over the line now to start lap 7, Charles Leclerc has made a pass on Pierre Gasly, and Gasly's fell back a bit. Maybe he's conserving his tyres or something, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have the pace. But now we have swapped places. Leclerc and Gasly have swapped places, I should say. And now Leclerc wants to, I couldn't say his name then, Leclerc wants to make a move into turn 1. We go defensive though, and we managed to push Leclerc wide a little through turn 1 and managed to keep our position. But he's going to have DRS again down this straight, and he's going to send it up the inside there, Charles Leclerc. It's wheel-to-wheel battles there. Again, you can see his front wing just popping into the camera, and Jeff wants us to swap the strategy from soft, medium, soft into soft medium, and I decided to agree with that. I don't know why. Should have stuck to my guns, or should I don't know. We won't know like which was the better strategy now, because we don't get to go back and choose a different strategy. But we are battling with Leclerc, as you can see on the replay here, and it's just great driving from the both of us to not make any contact there. We go a bit wide coming off the edge, but managed to keep that position there as Leclerc gets DRS down the straight. This is just a replay of the little moment that you've already seen just there, but he goes up the inside. We're going to go around the outside and get a lot better traction through this section here, and get a nice launch compared to Charles, and we are still in P10. You know, every point counts at this stage in the season, so even the 1 point for P10 is absolutely massive for the battle for third. But we lock up a bit and then go wide there, but we've closed the gap to Carlos Sainz now, as Leclerc wants to send it around the outside, but we've closed the gap to Sainz by like 5/10, or it was 5/10 until we had to go defensive driving there with Leclerc. But it looks like Sainz is having trouble overtaking Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso, both Alpines, in front of Esteban Ocon there. So I mean, both Alpines in front of Ocon. Sorry, boys, I'm losing my head today. Both Alpines in front of Carlos Sainz, and as you can see, the Alpines are holding up Carlos Sainz. He's still behind Esteban Ocon, and we are going to go ahead and try and make a move on Sainz. We've crossed the detection line for DRS, and we're going to have DRS down the straight. Both Sainz and Ocon both dive into the pits, but luckily we do get DRS obviously down this straight, even though there's no cars in front of us. Let's see how many cars we are going to pass in the pit. Max Verstappen coming out of the pits now. Verstappen has pitted and came out in P4 already. Verstappen is so OP on this game, I swear to God, bro. And speaking of the guy, there he goes, fast lap of the race, and he's got DRS on us down the straight. Lap 12, this is going to be our box lap as well. So we are going to push as hard as we can, obviously, on this lap, because we are coming in to change tyres. But Verstappen makes an easy move on us there, and he's just, this guy is so good, bro. Now it is time for us to pit as we start lap 13. Where do we come out? We are currently P6. Lando Norris has passed us, so has Pierre Gasly. Are we going to come out ahead of our teammate Nico Rosberg? No, Rosberg goes past Stroll, Tsunoda goes past, Giovinazzi goes past, and there's a massive train behind us, and I really want to get out ahead of these guys. A massive train led by Mick Schumacher. We do get out in time, maybe one lap later on the pit stop, and we would have been in the midst or behind these guys, so it was perfect time for the pit stop. Now we're going to have a little bit of traffic in front of us, which we need to try and clear as soon as possible. The different strategy runners on the medium tyres, Lance Stroll and Giovinazzi in front, as well as Nico Rosberg in there, and Tsunoda, as you can see as well. So Nico needs to clear these guys as well, and what a move that is. We're going to go up the inside of Lance Stroll as he's battling with Giovinazzi, and Giovinazzi makes the pass on Stroll, but so do we. We managed to capitalise on that mistake there from Stroll, or not even a mistake, but just because they were battling so hard, we managed to make a pass on Stroll, and now we are right on the gearbox of Giovinazzi, who we are so much faster than. You can just see already we are so much faster than this guy. We get DRS, and just in front of us as well, Nico Rosberg is going to make a move on Yuki Tsunoda into this right-hander. A little wobble on the exit, but Rosberg gets the move done, and he has passed Yuki Tsunoda, which we are going to look to do on this next home straight now, as we are going to get DRS on the hard tyres runner, Yuki Tsunoda, of course. Nico Rosberg has, of course, already done a pit stop as well, and he's in P8. I thought he was a lot higher than that, because of, obviously, the fact that he was right behind Lewis Hamilton at the start, you know, at the start of the race before Lewis had to retire. But heading down into turn 1 now, we're going to make a pass on Yuki, but we almost made contact with Nico Rosberg coming through these first few corners. He seems to be a lot faster than Nico, so hopefully we can try and pass Nico as soon as possible. You know, Nico obviously in qualifying has a lot more pace than us. I just can't string a qualifying lap together, boys. Don't know what it is. As we go up the inside of Nico Rosberg there, almost touching his back wheel, but we managed to make a move there on Rosberg. Like I was about to say, our race pace seems to be a lot faster than Rosberg every single race that we do. Apart from Russia, of course, this season, which Nico got pole and actually won the race in. But now we are chasing down George Russell, and I assume there's a lot of people in front who have not pit yet. I think Pierre Gasly is in the top 4 who hasn't pit yet. We've got Russell here on medium tyres as well, who hasn't pit yet, and we're going to go around the outside. We're going to leave Russell a lot of space on the inside, but he gives us even more space to go ahead and make that overtake, which was a bit weird. Not really any defensive driving from Russell there. I guess he's not racing us, you know, he's racing the people towards the back, so there's no point putting up a fight against us because it would be pretty much pointless. But anyway, Russell dives into the pits this lap as well, so that's probably why he didn't really put up much of a fight. But we're going green in every sector on these soft tyres now in the second stint. We have Verstappen and Ricciardo coming in for their second pit stop of the race, and obviously Verstappen has came out, but Ricciardo is just coming out of the pits. We are going to pass Ricciardo. We're up into P5. We obviously still have one pit stop left, but we're up into P5, and this is a great position to be in from where was we on the grid? P17 on the grid. So we've had a great race so far. Hopefully we can keep at it with the final few laps in this stint on the soft tyres before we do switch to the mediums for the end of the race. And Max Verstappen is 9.4 seconds ahead of us, with Lando Norris being 10 seconds ahead as well. So it is not too far away. Perez and Norris in the pits now as well. We're going to pass those guys, but here's Daniel Ricciardo coming back at us. Ricciardo on the medium tyres. Fresher tyres, of course, are soft, so starting to fall off a bit now, and Ricciardo makes a pass on us. Obviously it's so hard to defend into turn 1 there. You may as well not give up, or may as well not put up too much of a fight. But it is so weird the way they get DRS on this straight as well. I don't really like that. I think they should change that and give us a chance to fight back. But anyway, yeah, we're still in P5. Nico Rosberg in P6, just behind us. We come into the pits now finally for the final time in this race. Pierre Gasly is going to be behind us by 24 seconds. Lando Norris passes us in the pits, and we're going to come out ahead of Pierre Gasly. And look in the bottom left on the map, boys, there's a massive train behind us, and we're going to manage to come out ahead of all of those guys. Absolutely huge. Rosberg stuck behind Pierre Gasly. I think Rosberg has came in for another pit stop. I don't even know at this point what Rosberg's strategy is, but Gasly on soft tyres to go to the end of the race, which seems a bit bizarre. I don't know if Gasly has another stop in him. Gasly did start on the mediums, but it looks like Nico is trying to make a pass on Rosberg. I'm just checking the delta in the top left. Here is on board with Nico into turn 1. Nico Rosberg around the outside, Pierre Gasly up the inside. It looks like there's a bit of contact there between the two, and as they come through the little chicane, there's going to be more contact between Pierre Gasly and Nico Rosberg. Hopefully Nico does not have too much damage or has any damage at all from that there. But Gasly and Rosberg fighting constantly through the laps here, and coming through the final corner. We're going to check it again. This is on board with the two of them. They keep swapping places, and they're going to come through the hairpin now, or the hairpin chicane, what I call it. And then, yeah, Gasly's going to stay in front on the soft tyres. There seems to be a lot more grip. But as they come through the final corner, Nico Rosberg is going to dive into the pits, boys. And he must have picked up front wing damage. As we check his front wing, it looks like it is damaged, and he's going to come into the pits for a front wing change. Absolutely massive, massive unfortunate event there for Nico to come into the pits, you know, and Carlos Sainz behind us, and Gasly now pitting as well. So George Russell and Tsunoda move up to P7 and P8. I think they might have another pit stop in them. But Carlos Sainz coming in for a front wing as well. So it seems that these AlphaTauris must just be really dirty drivers, bro. And we checked the race director there, and as you can see, Nico Rosberg does indeed change his front wing in the pits, which is unfortunate. He's going to lose a lot of seconds there. And that's a good 5-second loss on his pit stop there, which is absolutely massive. And of course, next up, lap 30, the teammate is in the pits again. Max Verstappen is out the race. What is going on? This race, boys, on board with Nico. You can see there, Max Verstappen, his engine is gone. Max Verstappen is out of the Grand Prix, but Nico Rosberg comes into the pits again. He's on the hard tyres. He should be going to the end of the race. We check his front wing, and there's no damage, or no visible damage. So I don't know what the hell's going on. And they change his front wing again and put medium tyres on him. And we get a nice crotch camera there of the front engineer. But that is just so bizarre. I don't know what happened in lap 29 or 30 for him to do that, you know. So weird. But as we come through Sector 1, there's going to be a yellow flag, of course, and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, the championship leader in real life and on the game, is going to be out of the Mexican Grand Prix. Hopefully that does not happen in real life, being a Max Verstappen fan and a Red Bull fan. But now that yellow flag in Sector 1 has swapped to a yellow flag in Sector 2, and it's going to be another Red Bull, I think, bringing out the yellow flag. And as we can see on board with Carlos Sainz there, as we're rewinding the replay, it looks like one of the Red Bulls has put it in the wall, and it is going to be Sergio Perez, the last remaining Red Bull in this race, puts it in the wall there, lucky not to lose a tyre. It wouldn't let me spectate Sergio for some reason, but that was Sergio Perez at his home Grand Prix, putting it in the wall. Now Perez has to dive into the pits and get a new front wing, of course, and we're just coming through the end of Sector 2 now. So I'm thinking push hard as I can. Can we overtake Perez? He was already a whole pit stop ahead of us, but with that front wing change, it's going to be close. Can we go ahead and catch Perez while he's in the pits? You can see in the bottom left, he is still in the pits. As we come through the final sector, are we going to have the speed and the pace enough to catch Perez and overtake him? That would be a massive position gained in this race, but Perez comes out of the pits now already as we cross the line, and he's already at turn 1 nearly as we just come out of the final sector. Perez had enough time to pit, change his tyres and change his front wing and still come out 7 seconds ahead of us, just showing how fast that Red Bull is. And just how good the Red Bull is this season, you know, and how fast Perez is in that Red Bull. But as we head towards the end of the final lap now, Sergio Perez takes the fastest lap of the race. Perez is going to be P4. Unfortunate for Perez, you know, I'm sure he would have wanted a race win or a podium in his home Grand Prix, but it's not going to be good enough. Valtteri Bottas takes the checkered flag here in Mexico, and we cross the line. I can't even remember what position we were. I didn't look at the leaderboards before we finished. We'll have to wait and see. Driver of the day though goes to Sebastian Vettel. Why the fuck can't I speak in this video? I don't know. Sebastian Vettel, driver of the day. Weird that we didn't get driver of the day. I thought we had a really good race. We'll have to see how many positions Sebastian made up compared to us once we do look at the standings, of course. But here in Mexico, it is going to be a Mercedes win. Hopefully I don't be saying that on the weekend. And it looks like one of the McLarens in P3. We'll have to wait and see who got P2. Normally it shows us there, but obviously it's not. We'll have to wait and see. When they get on the podium, it's obviously Valtteri Bottas P1. It's going to be Lando Norris P3 and Daniel Ricciardo P2. So that's a 2-3 for McLaren. And there's absolutely massive points for McLaren in the constructor standings. Like I say, boys, we'll see the standings in a moment. The standings are so close for P3, 4 and 5. It is really going to come down to the wire. It's really heating up in this season. So entertaining. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Hit like on the video also if you have enjoyed this race. But let's get to the final standings. We do finish P5. Solid race from us. Up from P17 into P5. Charles Leclerc as well. Up from P16 into P6. But it was Sebastian Vettel up from P21 into P8 on a one-stop strategy. Wow, I did not notice that. One-stop strategy from Vettel. Up from P21 into P8. Absolutely massive from Vettel there. Nico Rosberg on the 4-stop strategy. I don't know why the fuck he changed his wing in the second, in that 4th pit stop. I don't know what the point of that 4th pit stop was. But he finishes the race in P17, which is just, you know, it's just a stinker, bro. It is just a stinker. Absolutely massive, though. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton retiring from the Mexican Grand Prix. Would not be surprised if that did actually happen in real life and they crashed into each other again. Them two getting really feisty in real life. But we remain P5 in the driver's standings. Charles Leclerc just 6 points behind us in the driver's standings. It's so close in the drivers, but here's the constructors. Ferrari and McLaren now joint P4 on the same amount of points and just 8 points, quick maths, behind us in the constructors standings. Like I say, boys, this is how close it is. There's 8 points separating 3rd, 4th and 5th. It is so close. It's really going to come down to the wire. Next up is the Sao Paulo Brazilian Grand Prix. Hopefully we can get a result there. If you do remember last season, we got a back-to-back P2 there. We got P2 in Mexico and P2 in Brazil. Nico Rosberg, his focus is down at 74. This guy needs to fix up, bro. Otherwise he's not going to be here next season. He's not going to have a seat for next season. And obviously who knows who we're going to get next season as our teammates. We really need to focus on improving the car though. Just briefly, you might have seen it. We'll look at it more next episode. We've actually fell now behind McLaren and Ferrari in the constructors comparison chart. So we really need to focus on developing the car, but for that we need money. But for next season we need money to buy a teammate. So I'm in like a catch-22 situation. Do we focus on the car, or do we focus on next season's teammate, or do we just focus on the car now and get a stinky teammate for next season? Should we bring back Dan Tickter? Who knows, bro? We'll have to find out in the next season, but don't go anywhere. We've got 3 races remaining in this season, and it's going to come right down to the wire. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you want to see more, and I will catch us in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Take it easy.